good after midday, and how are you? I hope you're still tracking with us, still communicating with us in this community that we have created for women like you and I who are living above the age of 35. We call it the midday, then after midday, between 35 to about 60, and that we can have conversations about the things that matter to us. It's a channel where we are calling it to be bold, authentic, and significant. Otherwise, we call it the buzz channel, where we are getting more buzz and where we have those buzz moments. Those moments where we realize, that's the truth. So we call those what? The buzz moment. So today we're going to have a lot of buzz moments, because I want to continue with the conversation around relationships. Why? Because it's very, very important for us after midday to be really authentic about this space of dating and how we relate. And so today I want to talk about the difference between accommodating and compromising yourself in a relationship. Because I have had people say to me, like money, relationships are give and take. Well, true, they are give and take. But how do you realize that you're giving so much, the point whereby you're giving out of who you are, and a point is reaching where you feel like you're giving out of empty. A point which is where you feel like you are compromising yourself, your self-worth, your value, the things that you care about. How do you ensure that you're not giving up those? Because to give up those, then what will you be left to give when you are giving that too? All right. So I want us to talk about, I prefer to use the word accommodation. I think that relationships are about accommodating another person into your life. And to accommodate another person into your life is to accommodate their values, their dreams, their aspirations, and sometimes even their weaknesses as well. But how much of those should you be able to accommodate? So in fact, when I was looking up the word compromise, I want to just read for you a definition here from the internet, and you can just look it up yourselves. But it says this: to weaken or harm by accepting standards that are lower than is desirable. And that is a part of compromise that I want us to sort of not get ourselves into. I want us to get ourselves to the point whereby you feel that by you compromising yourself, you're getting into an undesirable situation, or you're accepting practices and behaviors that are harmful to you, or by taking on that compromise, it's weakening who you are to a point where you wonder, who was I and what were my dreams? Okay, so what are some of I have prepared for you some areas which I think that we should not be compromising on when it comes to relationships. Yes, it's a give and take. We want to accommodate other people. I don't think that you need to compromise on your spiritual beliefs, because remember, we are spiritual beings that have a soul that live in a body, and so therefore I feel that I should not be put in a situation where I have to compromise my relationship with God. I feel that God should always remain supreme, and how I relate with Him, that should still be within my jurisdiction. And I should not be made to compromise that. But that does not mean that I cannot accommodate you or accommodate what you believe, okay, if we have chosen to be in a relationship. But if every time I say I'm going, say for example, I'm going to church because I am a Christian, then if you don't want to go to church and I'm in a relationship with you, then you start putting down my faith and my beliefs. I think that compromise is not okay. That's not accommodating someone. And that puts you in a weakened spiritual position. And when you're in a very weakened spiritual position, then you have no power operating in your life. So I think that you should not give up or compromise your spiritual beliefs in a relationship, or your relationship with God should not be compromised. The thing I think we should not compromise is our identity. You should never be made to feel inferior because of your identity. Identity is a wide conversation, it's a wide topic, but what really informs our identity? It's where you were born. For example, you did not choose to be born from a certain cultural context. Okay, so you should never be made to feel inferior or to apologize because you were born within a certain cultural context. You also didn't choose to be born in certain circumstances. You know, maybe you were born and raised by a single parent. Maybe you were born and raised within a polygamous environment. Maybe you were born and raised when your parents decided to separate or go their own different ways. Maybe you were born and raised in a certain, whatever it is, wherever that you had, because you didn't have a say in that, how you were born, because that's it's still your identity. That's you know, you that's how you were, that's why you were born, and you will not change that. Okay, you cannot say to God, unborn me and now go and born me in another, that's not even an English word, unborn me. Anyway, no, you cannot be unborn. Okay, so you shouldn't be made to feel bad about your identity. Your identity also comes with your own self-esteem, your self-worth, how you hold yourself in high regard. It also comes with your own sense of self-respect. I should not be put in a situation where I have to compromise on my self-respect in the name of compromise. And then your self-confidence, your beliefs, especially when those beliefs are healthy beliefs, and your unique self and your unique values, because we all have got values that we espouse, that we hold dear. Those values are what inform who we are. They're like building blocks that inform who we are, and therefore your values should remain important to you. And then the other thing I want to talk about is your relationship with your family and your friends. Because women sometimes give up a lot in the name of relationships, right? Let's get very authentic and real, because we're having after midday conversations. That you meet this person and all of a sudden you want to let go of, they start telling you, I don't like that friend of yours, I don't like this friend of yours. You know, the one thing I've observed is that guys are very loyal to their friends. If you meet a guy and you tell him you don't like his friend, you're the one who's going to leave. I've not seen a guy who lets go of his friend because his girlfriend does not like them or the wife does not like them. Maybe they're like, you know what, he's one of my boys and deal with it. But as women, we always sometimes give up our friends because the person that we have met is not comfortable with them. So I don't think you should be made to be isolated and give up on your friends and that matter to you because of a relationship, unless it's a very, very good reason that this person is going to cause you harm. Okay, then you can be able to understand that. But I don't think you should give up on your friends and your family. Especially, I've realized that when it comes to relationship, most people who are insecure will not be able to accommodate your family members who seem like they're people who are decisive, they have a voice, they are a person of they have a strong personality. They're like, me, I don't like that brother of yours. Me, I don't like that sister of yours. These are your family members. So let's not compromise on the relationships that we have with our family members in the name of this new dating relationship that we've just entered into. The other thing I think after midday you should not be compromising on is your freedom to be able to make decisions and choices that matter and affect you and that are important to you. Okay, a decision like voting, that's important and it should matter to you. And I don't think I should give up on that because my significant other is saying, let's go and vote for this and this person. We are not, it shouldn't be something that I give up on because I have the freedom to make my own choices and decisions regarding things that affect me and regarding things that affect my life. But of course, if it's a decision about whether to go for a party or not, I mean, that's an accommodation conversation. You can accommodate that your significant other wants you guys to go and visit his mom. I mean, it won't kill you, okay? You can miss the party to go and visit his mom. But when it comes to other choices that really matter to you and that affect your life, I think you should not be compromising on them. Whereas you want to accommodate the other person, you should not be compromising on those. I think you should not also compromise on your calling and your purpose. God created you for a purpose and He's called you to serve Him in a very, very unique way. He's given you unique giftings, unique talents to be able to serve Him in that way. I think you should not compromise on that, on the calling of God upon your life. I've met women who don't like themselves anymore because they say, for me, I'd been called to sing. But when I met this person, they started criticizing how I'm singing or telling me that's a singing of yours. And so within no time, I started believing that this is not a gift that I had. We are called to nurture our gifts that God has given us and to be faithful stewards of He who has called us. So I think you should not be compromising on your gifts. And that's a burst moment, because I can see the camera person getting very uncomfortable with this conversation. You better get uncomfortable. Okay. It's a burst moment for him. He's like, okay, now where do I go? Right? The other thing, thing we should not compromise, I think, is the advancement of your well-being and your happiness. That cannot be delegated to somebody else, okay? And it should not be something that you compromise on. You want to accommodate the other person's ideas of fun and all of that, but in those ideas of fun, you feel like they are compromising on your values and your well-being. Why should you go ahead with them, okay? Maybe your significant other going bungee jumping, he thinks that is the biggest idea of fun. But my dear sister, you're so scared of heights. You won't have fun. I can tell you, you can tell him, you go, you find me, when you jump, you will find me there to give you a hug. But I don't have to come and jump with you in order for so we can enjoy it together. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, so be clear about that, because you'll end up there just hating the person, but the person has had the time of their life, okay? And I do not think that you should compromise on your voice, your communication, being able to express yourself, of course, in a way that honors and dignifies the other person as well. But I think it's important that you don't lose your voice about the things that matter. Because in the name of compromise, especially in Africa, women have been raised to not express themselves. Women have been raised to remain quiet and they're told that if you need to talk, take a sip of water so that then you don't express what you're feeling and let the moment pass. But I think it's important to just find a respectful, polite and dignified way to express yourself, but express yourself nonetheless. Not in a way that puts the other person down, but that says, this is how I'm feeling, or this is how I feel about this, or I don't like this, or this is what I prefer. I think you should not compromise your voice. And finally, the thing I think you should not compromise is your inner peace. We all know, ultimately, what determines whether or not you made the compromise that you made weakened you or put you in a compromising situation, okay, or made you feel undervalued, is how you feel in the inside. If you said yes to something that you felt that was not good for you, you will not be at peace with yourself. And if you cannot live with yourself, who are you supposed to live with? If you say, I cannot live with myself after this decision, then who are you supposed to be living with? And that's a burst moment right there. I think we need to be able to use that as our guide. Am I at peace with this decision that I'm making? Am I at peace with this choice that I'm making? Am I at peace when accommodating this person? But remember, relationships just are all about being able to accommodate another person into your life. But please do not compromise and put yourself in a harmful situation in the name of compromise. And with that, go reflect on those points. Call your friends, discuss them with your friends. You may strongly agree with one and disagree with another. Let me know how you feel. Leave your comments below and go out there, be bold, authentic, and significant. Be boss.